The University of Oxford has a formidable reputation, especially in a boat race where Mike Evans is on their side. The University of Oxford Business School, the Saïd Business School, is world renowned. In a collaboration with the business school, we gave Professor Andrew Stevens, Associated Dean, unrestricted access to the entire BrandZ dataset, all of its billions of data points, so that he and his academic team could independently and forensically examine the data to see what it told them about the ability of brands to deliver superior shareholder returns and the value of purpose to companies, amongst other hypotheses developed by the university. This collaboration is still ongoing, and it's an ongoing project as well, and I'm sure that more insights, conclusions and seminal papers on brands and business will emerge from Professor Stevens' work, and we look forward to sharing those with you. In the meantime, please do read the section in the BrandZ report by the University of Oxford Saïd Business School on superior shareholder returns and brand purpose seen through the BrandZ data, and watch the longer interview with Professor Stevens on the Diginar, as indeed I recommend you do with all the interviews from today's Diginar. They're all packed with actionable insights. Well, Professor, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, David.
You've had access to the entire BrandZ dataset, billions of individual data points, for you and your academic colleagues to do an independent analysis and assessment of what that data says. You've been looking at two areas, and we'll deal with both of those. The first is, do brand attributes really deliver shareholder value? And the second is brand purpose. So let's deal first of all, I suppose, with the biggest question of all, which is the investment that companies make in brands. Does that deliver superior returns to shareholders in terms of the analysis that you and your academic colleagues have been undertaking?
So the short answer is yes. Brands definitely do matter. That's not to say other financial market variables and economic variables don't influence the performance, the stock performance, or shareholder value. Of course they do. But when you add brand metrics into the equation, essentially to do those forecasting models, it almost gets to perfect prediction, actually, which kind of stunned us. So the market doesn't fully value brand maybe in the short run, but in the long run, it's clear that there's a positive impact of strong brands on value.
So what do you think that work that you've done and the data that you've created will add to both sort of the equity people's understanding of how brands work, but equally the CEO, the chairman, and the marketing director's perspective of how best and the amount of investment to put into brand building?
Well, I think you and I both have probably heard the naysay views over the many years, and in terms of no, brand is, marketing is an expense, it's not an investment, you're not building assets. And of course, we would argue otherwise. We certainly get into these debates even with our MBA students, for example, in the classroom, who are like, well, no, this is just an expense line. And I was like, no, you're building intangible assets here. And well, what's the value of it? And how do I drive that value? So I think this helps speak to that debate. And it's there has been evidence for some time saying that in the marketing academic world, for sure, that brand equity is a real thing, and it does help drive long run value of the firm and growth of the firm.
Now we're seeing huge investments by governments in industries and businesses, directly and indirectly, right across the world. Does this spell the end of the free market capitalist experiment?
It's a big question. I don't think so, but I think there's been a natural shift, and I think we'll see this maybe not permanently, but for some time back to more local markets. if I think about sort of almost the psychology behind that, again back to a consumer level, we're now paying more attention to our local neighborhoods and the small businesses in those neighborhoods and towns and villages around the country, so and around the world. So I think you'll see local economy focus on the demand side more than we've ever seen before.
Andrew, Professor of the Saïd Business School from the University of Oxford, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me.